Okay, let's dive right in. We're about to unravel a linguistic puzzle that sits at the very heart of early Islamic history. It's a fascinating story, and it's all hidden inside a single, really powerful word.
And here it is, the central question that gets historical linguists like me so excited. Is it possible that the Quran took what was basically a religious slur and transformed it into the ultimate badge of monotheistic honor?
All right, so in Islamic theology, the meaning seems pretty straightforward. A hanif is like the gold standard of belief. A pure original monotheist. Think of someone like Abraham, who existed way before Judaism and Christianity. Someone who had the guts to reject all the idols of his time. That's the standard traditional understanding.
But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? The story doesn't end there. Because when you look at the languages all around early Arabia, a place just buzzing with different words and ideas bouncing off each other, you find something, well, something very strange. So check this out. It's all about geography. Take a look at the map. In Syriac, which was the main language for Christians living right next door to the heart of Islam, they had a word that sounds almost identical to hanif.
That word is hanpa, and its meaning, the complete opposite. It meant pagan, heathen. It is actually a slur that Syriac-speaking Christians use for anyone who wasn't part of their faith. So let that sink in. You have two words that are basically twins in neighboring cultures with polar opposite meanings. How on earth does that happen? Well, this is where scholars like Arthur Jeffrey come in. They suggest this is no coincidence. In fact, they think it was a deliberate, incredibly clever linguistic move. Kind of like a form of theological judo, using your opponent's own momentum against them. So here's the theory. The Quran took the exact word used to label a religious outsider and completely flipped it on its head. It didn't just reject the label, it reclaimed it. And this shows that flip perfectly. See, instead of being an outsider to God, a hanif became an outsider to a corrupt society. The word was transformed from an insult meaning heathen into a badge of honor for a rebel, someone brave enough to stand against the false idols and the entire culture of their day. Which brings us full circle, right back to that bombshell question we started with. If hanif comes from hanpa, is the Quran actually calling the prophet Abraham a pagan? The answer is a clear, emphatic no. But, and this is the whole point, he was a rebel. He was the ultimate outsider who stood against his society's worship of idols. So, from this perspective, the Quran wasn't using a slur at all. It was redefining what it really means to be an outsider. You're not an outsider from God, you're an outsider for God. I mean, how incredible is that? This story of how a word can be flipped from an insult into an ideal, it's just a perfect example of the power of language. Now, of course, there's a much deeper academic dive to take here, so for the full linguistic breakdown, you gotta check out the related video.